Hello everyone, this is God in the Center with Matthew. Tonight we are going to be speaking out of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, aka the love chapter. I'm going to start at verse 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men and angels, but I have no love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal, And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledges, and though I have all faith, that I could remove mountains, but have no love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have no love, it profits me nothing. So Jesus is telling us, right here, Paul wrote this, that love is everything. Without love, you have nothing. So without love, all the money in the world can't do you no good. Without love, the gift of prophecy is doing you no good. Without love, it don't matter what you're doing. As long as you're not doing it out of love, if you're doing this stuff to get, I say in something about if I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have no love, it profits me nothing. So like, if you're doing this stuff not out of love and not out of care, it's not really edifying God. You know, love's a hard thing to deal with. I mean, it really is, because I'm fixing to get down here and read some more. So I'm going to go to verse 4. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. Love is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not speak its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth, bears all things, believes all things, hope all things, endures all things. So it says love endures everything, and like, it's hard to go by this, because I do know that love sometimes does, like sometimes people do get envious, or they do parade itself, and they do puff themselves up and behaves rudely. Sometimes you behave rudely to people you love. It says love does not seek its own. Sometimes we are self-seekers. I know when I did my 4th and 5th step, I thought that I was the most loving and caring man in the world, but once I actually looked at that list, I wished everybody in the world would do a 4th and 5th step and get honest with themselves, because it taught me a lot of stuff about myself, and I'm still continuing trying to learn more and more, you know, especially this whole love thing. It's hard, because like Jesus asked us to love our neighbors, we love ourselves. I don't know if I've ever really been in love with a female. I mean, I feel like maybe I sort of possibly was teetering with that a couple of times, but I don't know if it ever, because like I know that it didn't go both ways ever. So I don't know if that's even, if that can even happen without it being mutual, but possibly it can. I wish that we could have love like the dogs have. Dogs will love you no matter what. And I think that's the way that we're supposed to try to give love, like dogs do. Dogs, you know, they're so loving and kind, and like that's you know, I hate to compare love to dogs, but them dogs right there, they really. I wish I had a woman that loved me a quarter of the amount my dogs do, and I'd be the most blessed man in the world, because them dogs are just crazy about me. So, and Jesus is too. I mean, God is, because God gave His only Son to cover our sins, to where we haven't got to burn in hell, as long as we do a few things like He's asked us to be baptized. But I'm going to go down to verse 8 now. Love never fails. Whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. For we know in part that we prophesy in part, But when that which is perfect has came, and that which is in part will be done away. So it's saying that like that love never fails. If everything else fails, as long as you have love in your heart, it shouldn't fail. You know, and it's saying up here, this, like I said, it's hard. Like love does not envy. I mean, you know, I have struggled with all these things up here when I find myself trying to love somebody or trying to be the man I should be. I fall into some of these things. It's provoked. Thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And without love, we have nothing. But you know, there's different types of loves, and I wished I did a little more research, because I know you got like a father-son love, a mother-daughter love, brother-sister love, a friendship love. You got, you know, husband-wife love, boyfriend-girlfriend type love. But then there's others. There's just so many different situations, different levels of it. You know, but it's not really supposed to be. Love's supposed to be love. We're supposed to generally do something for somebody out of the bottom of our heart without expecting nothing in return. Is what love is. It's not for us to do this for this person expecting this result. That's not true love. That's not really trying to doing something out of love. If you're doing something to get a result, then you're using love. You're using love, and you're manipulating. You're manipulating people, and you're manipulating situations to get an end result. That's not love, and that's not what Jesus wants us to do. You know, and I think I have. I'm not going to say that I've never been guilty of manipulating situations or something, but I believe, though, in my heart of hearts, 90% of the time, that when I do something for somebody or I give somebody something, it truly is just out of love. It's not really. I'm not really looking for something in return, but there's still that 10%, and it could be higher. I don't really know. I mean, it's hard for me to gauge that. I really do like doing for people. I like giving to people, and I like making people happy. And I don't know. It's this whole love thing is confusing. So as I do know that the stuff I do for people, I like for them to do for me too. And it never does. It just seems like it never really happens. Like sometimes I feel like I give way more love than I'll ever get back in return, except for the dogs. And them dogs, they give way more love than I could ever give anybody. They just really do. And it's sad that an animal has more love than we do as humans. And God created us in His own image. So that tells you something about us as a society. I don't know if it's always been like this. I don't know if it's like this, you know, in the garden. I don't know how stuff's translated. You know, then you have just people that's out to manipulate to have sex, you know, or use people for things, and then sex is involved. That's not love. And just because you have sex with somebody doesn't mean it's love. I guess it's a really great feeling when you actually do love somebody and you get to be intimate with them. You know, but that's not what the world is now. The world is just, I'll have 6 girlfriends. This girl will have 6 boyfriends, and it's like each one of them provides something or does something for me. So why would, you know, and it gets to the point to where these people don't want to give that lifestyle up. They'd just rather float around and have 6 or 7 boyfriends or 6 or 7 girlfriends, and it's just the way the world is now. And I know that this is a hard chapter right here, because love is very hard to deal with and to understand. If there's actually genuinely somebody's actually genuinely doing something because they love and they care for you, or whether they're just doing something manipulative, or they think they're going to get something later on down the road. And I think a lot of times that just goes on, and I think sometimes it goes on subconsciously. I think sometimes people don't even know that they're doing it because it's just being bred into us, and it's the way the world is now. So I'm gonna go into verse 11 now. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know. But as I know, also I also am known. And now abide faith, hope, love. These three, but the greatest is love. So, it's talking about all the gifts. This is talking about the gifts of the Spirit. It was talking about, the prophecy and the speaking in tongues, and let's see what else it's talking about. Knowledge, faith. It talks about all kind of stuff. It says if I have faith enough that I can remove mountains. So I trust God so much that I could just do anything. I've got so much faith that I can go put hands on somebody and heal them from whatever disease they have. But I don't have love, then I have failed. I have failed at this game. I've failed at life. So we're supposed to genuinely love everybody. And it is hard because some people it almost seems unlovable. And it says, like right down here, it says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I become a man, I put away childish things. So I don't know, man. I was probably like a grown child till I was probably like 35. We have to love ourselves in order to. We have to love ourselves first to be able to ever love anybody else. And when I was putting the drugs and alcohol in my body every day, I did not love myself. So how was I expect to ever get a wife, or how was I ever expect to actually love somebody and actually be able to do something? And I did have a good heart, even during all that. I did. I had Jesus in me, but I also had some demons in me. I believe anybody that is drinking every day or doing drugs and then they get caught up in this. I've seen people, myself, I'm talking about myself, but there's a lot of people that thinks because they've decided to kick, let's just say it's methamphetamines, or they've decided they're going to quit doing cocaine, they decide they're going to quit doing heroin, whatever, now they're just drinking alcohol every day. You haven't changed. Maybe you're doing something different that's legal, but but really, if you're consuming alcohol every day of your life, which I was doing, you don't love yourself, and you'll never be able to love anybody right. You'll never be able to love anybody right as long as you're destroying your body, destroying your mind. Alcohol doesn't makes us not think straight. It makes us do things we normally wouldn't do. And I know speaking from experience, so we can't love nobody as long as we're intoxicated all the time. We don't love ourselves, or we wouldn't be poisoning ourselves and putting our bodies through this stuff. I believe I developed diabetes from drinking. I believe that was what caused it. I'm getting off some of this meds. I've lost some weight, but I've just now really started loving myself probably like 7 years ago. So, but I do, and I love God. I love people, and I thought that I loved people back before that, but I was still a child. That's what this is talking about. Like when I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Well, I didn't become a man until I was about 35. I was doing man stuff at an early age, but not like the man God created me to be. I was not being the man God created me to be. You got 50-year-old men that is still doing childish things. If you're getting drunk every day of your life, that's childish. If you're getting high every day of your life, that's childish. Them are childish things. You know? This wasn't what this was supposed to be about. I go by, God just sort of leads me in this. I wasn't even like, I just sort of freestyled this stuff. But it came to me that I didn't love myself, and I do now, and I'm ready to find the right person. And like, and coexist as a husband wife one day. And that's the way God created us. God created Adam, God created Eve. And that's the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be having sex with 6 or 7 different people. You know, at any given time. We're not supposed to be cheating on our husband. We're not supposed to be cheating on our wife. And it's just the world is like, is bastardized marriage and bastardized the love. What we see on TV is like they've just changed it up. The TV, the internet, and social media and all that stuff has messed up what God's created to be good. And I told Dad the other day, I wish I could go back to and live in the 30s. I don't care if I had to ride in a horse and buggy. People's marriages lasted longer, and people was, I think, genuinely good people, and they tried to go by what this Bible says. There wasn't so much rigmarole. Was there still bad things? Yeah, there were still people killing people back then. They've been, you know, there was people killing people since the beginning of times. Cain killed Abel. But I think it's just steadily got worse, and I don't know. Maybe it was bad back then too. I don't really know. I just know that I'm trying my best to understand this. And I've never spoken tongues. It says one day they will vanish. It says one day knowledge will vanish. The one thing up here though that sticks out is the first verse. Though I speak with the tongues of men and angels, but I have no love, I have become like a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. So what he's saying is like, you know, there is a heavenly language. So Paul's talking about if he could speak to angels, if he could actually speak to them, but he has no love, then it doesn't matter what's coming out of his mouth, because if there's no love coming out of his mouth, it doesn't matter. If he isn't trying to edify God and trying to better the world and better the people around him, like the community around him, then and he doesn't love people, then he has failed as a Christian man. He has failed. I fail all the time because I really do try to love people. You know, there's still, like I said, there's different types of levels of love. I do try to love my neighbors. I love myself, and then your neighbor is anybody that you come in contact with. It's whoever. I'll be going down the road and I'll see somebody walking and I'll pray for them. There was some poor lady got killed last night. I guess a drunk driver ran her over and then said he hit a deer and called 911, and I guess the cops got him today. I asked for y'all to pray for that lady's family. It's a tragedy. He's probably drunk. Again, that could happen to anybody that's get behind the wheel drunk. I mean, you never know when it's your time. I mean, I'm so blessed by God that I never killed nobody behind the wheel drunk. You know, I'm just really blessed that never happened. I see people every day getting behind the wheel drinking, though. You'll see them at the restaurants, they'll be intoxicated. You'll see them wherever out, like I live out here on the beach. People just drink every day and they don't have no care in the world about somebody else's life. And I was that way at one time, but Lord, I really wish alcohol is just as bad as any other drug. It really, truly is. It destroys people. I know this poor one girl that I used to date years ago. Not really years ago, but it was some years I messed around with her. And I just pray to God that one day she can get off the alcohol. I don't ever really want to have nothing romantic with her ever again, but like, she's one of them hopeless cases AA talks about. You know, some people believe that they can just have one drink, and then that one drink turns into like 1,000. It's just one's never enough. 1,000's too many. Yeah, or something like that. It's getting late at night, and all I'm trying to get at is like, try to read this chapter if you get a chance. I explained the best I could, and like this is something we have to work on the rest of our life. So like, we'll never be perfect in this category, but Paul puts emphasis on this. He puts emphasis on this. Like, if we can have everything in the world we want to have, but if we have no love, if we do stuff for, like, I'm gonna go back and read. I'm gonna go back and read from verse 2 to verse 2 and 3 right here. They're very important. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and I understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have faith so that I could remove mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but I have not love, it profits me nothing. God gave up His only Son out of pure love for us, so He hung and died on that cross so we could live. That's love. I haven't got any children, but I got some fur babies right there. I got 2 of them, and it would be very hard for me to decide that I had to let one of them be crucified to save somebody else, save anybody. Because I love the dogs more than I do people at this point. You know, people let you down. I know I've got to work on that though, because I've just been hurt so many times, been let down so many times, and I'm sure that I've hurt and let other people down. So like, it's something we have to strive for every day, because it says without love we have nothing. We are nothing. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing when somebody hurts you or somebody does something to you, to turn the other cheek and still love them. What we have to do is we have to look at them like God looks at us, and just love them. Love them and let them. Everybody's got a free will. I know probably beat that horse to death, but everybody does have a free will, and we can only control what we do. I can only control that I'm not drinking, I'm not getting high today. I can't control what Jack down the road does or my neighbor does. Maybe they're getting sloppy drunk right now. I can't save them. Maybe your best friend is getting sloppy drunk, or your son or your daughter is, or your wife. All you can do is love them through it, but you really haven't got to put up with it either. I just pray that anybody that is suffering from alcohol addiction or any other kind of drug addiction, that you put it down now, because I learned one time from a very wise man, rock bottom, it can be at several different levels. When you hit, it's not when you keep digging, it's when you put the shovel down. Just put the shovel down. You ain't got to hit the rock bottom that I hit. You ain't got to hit the rock bottom that the homeless man on the bridge has hit. Everybody's got a different level of that stuff. So I love everybody enough to let them know that I love you and you can do it. You can beat anything. You can move mountains. But I also pray and beg for you to go get baptized in the name of the Son, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I pray that you go get baptized and you get born again, start reading this Word. And I'm pretty much rambling at this point, so I'm going to get off here, and I hope that I've got some of this. If you like what you heard, or I need some subscribers really bad, people. So I pray that if y'all like this, y'all can share and y'all can tell y'all's friends, and you know, maybe I'll get a few more subscriptions. I'm really working hard at this the best I can. I can do better, but you know, I'm a busy man. I really am. Y'all have a blessed day. Good night.